Ahem. So, you come here often, or what? Wait, are we rolling? Nobody said we were rolling. Greetings, the world of the internet. I am the great Matthew Squeak, and welcome to Squirrel Talk at the Movies. Do I really need the introduction for My Little Pony? After surprising everyone with just how much effort was thrown into it, the series is finally soaring onto the big screens to solve that age-old question, can we tolerate an hour and a half of My Little Pony? So get your My Little Pony merchandise ready and let's have a look. The characters. Whether you love them or hate them, I'm sure you've at least heard of the main six by now. Six pony girls, each equipped with a unique personality ranging from drama queens to party animals. And so you'll be getting exactly what you'd expect from the show, My Little Pony. As in, you kind of needed to watch the bit of the show in order to get a feel for these characters, and be able to fully care about them. They don't get much of an introduction, you're just expected to know who everyone was. But look at this thing, would you really be going to see this if you weren't a fan in the first place? If you love the characters from the show, then you'll love them here. If you couldn't stand them before, my condolences if you're forced to attend. We also have some new characters to the lineup, and only one of them is an actual pony. Tempest Shadow strives to be everything My Little Pony is not. Dark, cunning, serious. A pretty fair villain for My Little Pony universe. She was actually pretty cool as she relentlessly pursued the main characters. She was certainly intimidating, and she offered a fair amount of thrills for the movie. Other characters were too minor to discuss, but I did enjoy all of them. I do consider My Little Pony a good program, and I found all the characters enjoyable in this one way or another. The plot. The movie starts as eye-rollingly cheesy pandering as you might expect. But don't worry, as things take a turn for the bleak as the magical land of Equestria is invaded and conquered by a power-hungry badger thingies. Now, Twilight and her 5 friends must journey on a quest for allies to help reclaim the kingdom and maybe save the world while they're at it. Most of the plot is not as happy and skippy as you might think, as they spend most of the movie running for their lives and crossing paths with shady characters. It's just that the story seems to suddenly switch gears periodically throughout the movie. We're in the middle of the desert, now we're at Mos Eisley, now they're all seahorses for some reason. While not difficult to follow, it's a bit of a bumpy road. But what will make or break this road for you is the characters and sense of humor. If you already like the show and are a fan of the humor, then it's easy to forget these bumps and cheesiness along the path and kick back and enjoy the ride. Design. It was a bit of getting used to the style the movie had to offer. It's not quite the animation I was used to in this series. And for a My Little Pony cartoon, it actually looks pretty good. Most of the time. The characters are modeled nicer, they look and operate better, and the environments they go to are imaginative and impressive. But something about these ponies is just off. Most of the time you can ignore it, but it keeps happening. I don't know if it was because it was on a big screen, but the eyes just look too big and sparkly. It's like they were trying too hard to make them look as cute as possible. They're just a fraction too big in my opinion. It's not that bad. I have seen things try so hard to be cute that they wind up being terrifying. The other thing is, once in a while a character looks in a certain direction or moves in a strange way that causes a pony to suddenly look like some strange deformed creature. If you pause in the right place in this movie, you will see some strange stuff. But it was overall decent animation. Overall, let's face it, the My Little Pony movie is one of those rare movies where you can tell before you even sit down whether you'll enjoy it or not. Me, I had a good time, so I give it a watch it, but only because I consider the show well made. It's got a fair share of problems. Not all the songs are all that memorable, and the animation can get a little off. And as for a movie standing on its own, it just doesn't do that well at all. The characters and gag lines, while funny, but are very dependent on you being a fan in the first place in order to hit home. But as I said before, if you weren't a fan of My Little Pony, would you really go and see this? And speaking from someone who is, it was fun, it was hilarious, and even a little epic in places. A grand adventure for fans young and old, but everyone else may want to stay home. And now for a moment with previews. A family-friendly feel-good movie with Owen Wilson. Yeah, that sounds good. Is it Christmas yet? Would this air already so I can have something else to talk about? Anything would do. Ah! Would you leave me alone already? I'm not watching The Legend of Everfree, and there is no amount of supernatural power that will ever change my mind.
Give her time.
I thank my loyal subjects for watching. If you're a fan of My Little Pony, this is definitely a movie you do not want to miss. Please like and subscribe to me, and also support the channel on Patreon if you are so willing.